Hey there, everyone. I'm meteorologist Bill Kelly with this CBS News Philadelphia live update here on our streaming channel. It is 5 o'clock. We do not have any tornado warnings, but we have severe thunderstorm warnings. We have multiple flash flood warnings, and we have just a ton going on right now. So I'm going to let this breathe a little bit. We're going to be on for probably at least 10 minutes. I want to show you what's going on, take some of your questions or comments or any of those things if you want to chime in on social media. I'm at Bill Kelly Weather on Twitter, Facebook, you name it. You can get in touch with me that way. We are watching the rain approach the Philly area. We're probably an hour or so away from getting some very heavy rain around the metro region. Here's what it looks like in Bethlehem right now. This is one of the areas where the rain has been continuous, but you folks in Berks County and up into, say, down into Lancaster County and now into Chester and Delaware, this is where the rainfall is coming down at rates that are inches per hour. And I'm going to show you the radar rate in just a moment in terms of how much rain has fallen. It's incredible. Record-breaking rain, flash flooding. The reports, which we'll also show you, have been pretty extensive. But the damage that we have, or at least the biggest risk that we have right now, the most impactful thing for you, is the flooding potential and the lightning potential. I mean, this storm now just rolling through Chester County, starting to work into Delaware County, Montgomery County. You folks had the storm earlier, and now it is raining very heavily up here, moving into Upper Bucks as well. A lot of lightning strikes, and once it starts raining at your house, it's going to rain for a long time, and flooding is going to be likely. Many of you are going to see your sump pumps work to the point that perhaps they don't work anymore. I actually got a report from Quakertown in Bucks County. It's one of the many places that we've seen these incredible reports where a guy on my Facebook page, Keith, said, hey, I had to go to Lowe's to fix something, and it's now working again. So that could be a problem. We could be talking about widespread flooding throughout parts of your house. Here's where the storm is the strongest right now. We're looking at Newcastle County in Delaware, down through Kent County as well, and it's starting to work its way over the Chesapeake Bay and approaching Salem and Cumberland County at this particular time. This does have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. In fact, if we look at our alerts here, I want to show you. Here's the warning that's up to the north, okay? It is in Newcastle County at this time, and it is red from the National Weather Service because the language that they use is tornado possible. Basically, what's been going on is we've been seeing what's called broad rotation, and that means there is some spin, but it's more wide. It's not really tight like you would see on a tornado. It's new alert from the NWS flood advisory. We're going to look at all these. So that is where the current severe thunderstorm warning is. The storm's moving to the north at about 20 miles per hour. So right here where 301 connects with 15 in this area, this is where the storm is the strongest. In fact, if I look at the what's called velocity data, I mean, look how strong this wind is right here over the bay just south of Delaware City. And you see how there's a little red there? That's what the National Weather Service is talking about, where there is some rotation out there. But if I put this into motion, let's go ahead and look over the last 30 minutes. A lot of what you're seeing here is going to be outflow winds. I mean, the storm is pretty strong. It's putting winds in all direction. You know, it's not totally out of the question for a brief spin up, but it's really not the greatest threat that we have out there. Damaging winds. Okay, that's whenever I hear the beep, it says the word tornado, and that was a tornado possible, talking about this particular storm right here as well. But the outflow winds, the lightning, these are all going to be the most dangerous things that you're going to be dealing with. In addition, see how white this is? That is an indicator of hail as well. So hail could potentially be an issue. But this is where the storm is the absolute strongest in our area. So before we move on to the floods and the reports, let me track this out for you. I'm going to use our tool that we can draw right along the leading edge of this, and like I said, it's moving at about 20 miles per hour. So if it holds together, here's a look at some of the generalized timing for you with this part of the storm. It's not the only storm. It's just part of this major line that we have. So Upper Chichester, this is right around, say, another 20 minutes from now as this storm moves over the bay into parts of Salem and Cumberland County. Chester, 5:45. Radnor at 6 o'clock. It's specifically at PHL, that's of course the airport. So let's just say Philadelphia, 6:30. We've been telling you in that 6 o'clock hour, 6:30, somewhere in there. Philadelphia itself, Center City, that puts it at 6:54. Of course, this is moving from the south to the north, and the airport's farther south in the city. Camden at about 7:16. Once again, that is this part of the storm as it is moving at about 20 miles per hour. And put this loop into motion, finally starting to see a little bit of movement out of these storms where a lot of them have been fairly stationary, just absolutely dumping rain. in and around the area. So here's what it looks like. We're going to continue to move up. Here's the radar. Leave it in motion over the last 30 minutes. Have a cell now that's now developing into lower Montgomery County, upper parts north of Philadelphia here. This is the Schuylkill Expressway 76, so it's developing just outside of that. It's going to be pretty close here. King of Prussia, you're going to be getting the heavy rain in just a minute or two, and then this extends on back where we start to see places like Wayne getting a lot of rain again. Back up to Pottstown, we've had some reports. We're now moving into Chester County, West Goshen, areas like that. You continue to move up the Blue Route, raining very heavily around this entire region, right up into Upper Bucks County, and then this goes up into the Lehigh Valley as well. And where you're seeing the lightning strikes, that is where the storms are bigger. They're taller. There's more wind. There is a greater risk for any kind of stronger to severe storms. And then when you get past this front line, then we're going to go back here, back to Berks County, where you have a little bit of lightning strike, but now it is just a continual, incredible, steady rainfall. So what I want to show you is the amount of rain that has come down so far today. And we have, and I tweeted this out, there have been numerous reports of water rescues, roads being closed, flooded parking lots and highways, and one building collapsed with residents inside because the basement flooded entirely and the building wasn't sound enough that it then collapsed. That was in Berks County here. But when we're looking at the totals, okay, so this is again 12 hours of information in here, and I can show you the last 3, but I want to show you what it's been like basically since 5 o'clock this morning. And you see all this dark shade of purple, almost like this magenta color. 7.4, an insane amount of rainfall estimated by the radar, and this is throughout a good portion of Berks County. I mean, you folks in the far western section of the county, I mean, I do a sample there and it's only 2.5. That's just remarkable rain here, right where it meets up, say near Pottstown, just a little bit to the north. That's at 4.6, but it's not just confined here into Montgomery County and Berks County. I mean, look at this is Upper Bucks. Here's Allentown and Bethlehem. And all this shade of that, once again, purple and magenta, 5, 6, if not 7 inches of rain just today alone, and that is why we have so many flash flood warnings. Here's the one that we had earlier down around Norristown where we had some of the flooding rainfall. But let me show you. We go back into this area, and I'm going to put on just the flooding alerts. And everywhere that you see red on this map, which is a good portion of our area west of the Delaware River, every section, this includes the entire county of Berks County, nearly all of Lehigh County, Upper Bucks, Upper Montgomery, most of Chester County, now into a good portion, at least flirting here with Delaware County, in parts of Delaware and up into parts of Philadelphia. These are flash flood warnings, meaning flash flooding is occurring or will occur. Flash flooding means you go from basically nothing to suddenly there's a big flood, whether it's outside your door, next to a creek, next to a stream, roads being flooded. It's one of those afternoons, while we're not tracking, you know, long-term or long-duration tornadoes, this is exceptionally impactful. I mean, this is a dangerous situation to go out and drive. Hopefully most of you are at home watching this, and we are broadcasting on our stream right now, obviously, as you're watching, so you might be on your phone. Maybe you're out and about doing something. Be careful. If you're in a spot that we haven't had any rainfall yet, because we got this question, I answered, I forget who sent it on my Twitter feed, and said, when's it going to get here? Because it hasn't really rained yet, and that was from, I think it was from Philadelphia. But notice, in Jersey, we've yet to really see any rain. In fact, down the shore, it's been all right. But this is all heading this direction. So maybe you're watching from the shore. All right, you're just out, you saw this alert, you wanted to watch the stream, and you're heading on back in the next 3 or 4 hours. You're going to encounter all of this. And so you want to be very careful. If you are driving around and you see the heavy rainfall and you're just driving, and it's going to be one of those things where you're doing literally, I'm sure, 10 miles an hour and your windshield wipers are on high and you can barely see, that's when you need to just get off the road. Just get off the road, find a restaurant, find a rest stop, sit it out, go an hour. It could last for a long time, but it's just going to create problems. And the heavy rain is by far our biggest risk out there with the flooding. But we again have the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect that I talked about earlier. It's the lone warning right here. Everywhere in the pink is a severe thunderstorm watch box, meaning conditions are possible. Severe weather isn't our primary feature that is going to be most impactful. Obviously, it is the flooding that we talked about right now. All right, so I mentioned the reports earlier on I want to show you what has rolled in just in the last 12 hours. And every one of these different emblems here is a severe weather report of some kind. Okay, most of this is flooding. Some of it is damage. Here's a damage report right here, for example. This one coming in. This is in Churchtown. This is in Lancaster County. Trees down on wires. That came in at 3:28. But look at all of these different flooding reports. We'll just randomly take this one, for example, just to the north of Bethlehem. Spotter sent in video of fast water moving with the roads becoming impassable near Ole. Am I saying that right? Ole, I'm not familiar with that town. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. PA, time estimated. This report came in at 3 o'clock. So here's just one of numerous reports, every one of these being a flood report, and they will continue to come in as we get on into the evening tonight. In fact, brand new report coming in just now in Berks County, 510. It's 510. This is, they're coming so fast, I get flashback. Bern Township. This is a train spotter reporting flash flooding at 4:53. So this report is only 20 minutes old. Train spotter sent video of Fairview Drive in Bern Township. That's another alert. With flood water overrunning the roads, the road is now closed. Fairview Drive is now closed. This is not an isolated event. We're seeing this all over our region, and we will continue to see this for the next several hours. This will not be all night long, but for the next several hours, we are going to continue to see the heavy rain moving across. Starting to see some of these rain bands moving into Philly, but all this to the west is creeping its way to the east. So this is going to be entering the greater Philly area within the next hour or so. And then we have this mess down here that has hail, lightning, just working over the Delaware and into Salem County as well. Here's 295 approaching the Delaware Bay Memorial Bridge. It's going to connect, of course, with the Turnpike. And the general movement will continue to bring it up here eventually into Gloucester County, Camden County, city of Philadelphia over the next couple of hours. And same thing with you folks in South Jersey. That's a continuation of the severe thunderstorm that's on this one in Newcastle County. Until 5:30, by the way, 60-mile-an-hour winds is the greatest threat when it comes to severe, but they do say tornado possible out of that one because they are looking at a little bit of, you see how different this looks even than when we saw last time. It's not that really tight couplet as we look for. It's just broad rotation, meaning the storm is churning about and it's putting out all kinds of winds. So very strong winds right in here, and this is where the severe thunderstorm warning is. But let's go back down to South Jersey. Let's scroll on down to Cumberland County, and you folks in Cape May, it's dry now, but all this is moving your direction. And so it's 5:12 at this hour. Our next newscast is at 6:30. Obviously, this is going to lead our newscast with all the stuff going on. But we are going to be very active. We are on weather alert through easily 8 p.m., maybe 9 p.m. By that time, a majority of this is going to wind down. However, when we're talking inches of rainfall, it does not stop. When the rain stops, hey, all that water goes away. Months, literally months worth of rainfall coming down in a few hours. That's going to be problematic for a long time, at least for many spots for the duration of a good portion of the night tonight. So I encourage you to stay inside. We'll have any updates as needed here on the stream. Once again, our next newscast is at 6:30. Tomorrow is much improved. We're looking pretty good for Tuesday and Wednesday, but we are tracking more storms as we get later on into next week and next weekend. I'm meteorologist Bill Kelly. You can follow me on Twitter. I've been posting updates there. Bill Kelly Weather. For now, we're going to go. If there are any warnings issued, we'll let you know. This is a CBS News Philadelphia live streaming update. See you back here in just a bit.